foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Wamadai Yahushua. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which the world calls God, right? And Yahushua is the name of his only begotten Son, who the world only calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give a strong shalom to all the mighty men that's going out there laboring, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, doing all they can to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They're enduring the elements, the 100-degree weathers, freezing below codes, and everything that's trying to handle the work of the Most High. Shalom, shalom. I want to give another strong shalom to the Akwath, right? The sisters that are at home, reverencing their husbands, and the unmarried sisters as well, doing all they can to magnify the name of the Most High God. Last but not least, I want to give another strong shalom to all the teenagers and children in the truth, doing all they can to make their calling and election sure in these last days. And the topic of this code cut is titled, I want to flee into the wilderness. All right. Again, the topic of this code cut is, I want to flee into the wilderness. And as the brothers and sisters, Lord willing, you had a mighty Feast of Tabernacles. All right. The Feast of Tabernacles, this is the last day. Lord willing, all 8 days of the Feast of Tabernacles, you kept it in righteousness and truth and sincerity, right? It was beautiful. You know, we just came back not too long ago, right? But the Lord gave us another Feast of Tabernacles, so all praise to the Most High, right? And during this Feast of Tabernacles, whether you had to go into the wilderness, you might have rented out an Airbnb in the woods somewhere, you was outdoors, right? This Feast of Tabernacle, it teaches you about the wilderness, man. How the conditions are. Hey, the wilderness is peaceful, man. All right? It's beautiful. You're around nature. You get to meditate in the works of the Lord. Hey, on a deeper level, we already in the wilderness right now. And wildernesses are tough to survive in. They have hard conditions, but it's a reason why the Most High has these things set up through the Spirit. Right, I'm going to kick it off with Psalms chapter 55. All right, so the topic of this code is I want to flee into the wilderness. Because on a deeper level, we in when we in this society, we go through hell, man. All right. United States of America is a living hell. You have to ask where to go. Right? You literally have to ask to go somewhere in this place. All right. Like the brother Amaziah Ataziah WFISTL, it shows you really don't need all the things we use day to day. Right? That's right, man. At wilderness, certain things that you lose in your everyday life you don't need. Like your cell phone. You don't need your cell phone while you out there, man. There's certain people, they can't live without their cell phones. All right? It shows you certain people that you don't even want to be around. You learn the new things about yourself. You get to meditate in the works of the Lord. And it's certain plants you discovering like, damn, I never knew this. The Most High created this type of plant. This is beautiful. Animals. And we seen a ram out there through the Spirit. You know, I never seen a ram in my life before. So while you in the wilderness, it's so much things that you get to uncover. And this society is set up for you, to hinder your spirituality, to hinder your relationship with the Most High, chiefly to distract you. All right? So this is the book of Psalms. Let's go to the book of Psalms. Right? Psalms chapter 55. And it reads, Psalm chapter 55 and 6, it says, and I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove, for then I would fly away and be at rest. So King David, you know, he wished that he had wings, man. Right? That might be you in this society. Sometimes you wish you could get that escape. That's why we love the Feast of Tabernacles, that it gives you that refresh, that escape, that peace of mind. Right? So David, he was counseling the people, watching over all of the people, dealing with these different matters. Saul persecuting him, all hell breaking loose. So David, man, he said, man, I wish I had wings. Hey, when you in that wilderness, you breathing in that fresh air. All your stress is going away. Your problems. It's literally you're at peace. You come back to the society, demons hopping on your family. Demon might hop on your children, your rib, people at your job. But you in the wilderness, it's like a safe place. So David said, I wish I had wings, then I would fly away and be at rest. Lo, then I will wander far off and remain in the wilderness. Selah. I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. All right. And it's not the only time that our forefathers would go into the wilderness. Yahushua, he went into the wilderness just to get away, just so he could properly fast. And you might go on a fast in this society, you're gonna have people just offer you things out of nowhere. You fasting, yeah, hey, I got a drink for you. All right. People tempting you you might be fasting at the workplace. Yeah, I brought in some cake for you today. They never offered you anything a day in your life, but all of a sudden when you fast, now they offering it to you. And in the wilderness, when you fasting, it's just you. You don't have people tempting you. All right. You don't have spirits trying to come up against you. Hey, David said, I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. There's no bills in the wilderness, man. All right. There's no rent out there. So like the brother said earlier, it shows you, during this Feast of Tabernacles, that guess what? These things that you need in this society, when you're out there amongst the elements, you don't really need those things, man. There's certain things that we have that we don't even use. We just have it, which is fine just to use in this society. But it's kind of come a time when all hell breaks loose that we will be pilgrims on the earth. We're going to flee into the wilderness, fleeing from persecution. I'm going to read that again. I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. And that windy storm and tempest could be anything. Spirits, all right? You feel like you're not growing through the spirit. Feel like things are remaining the same. There's no light. It's nothing but dark days. Rain, hail, sleet, snow. In that wilderness, you get to escape that and truly live life. See, in Babylon the Great, this kingdom is set up for you not to be able to live your life. It wants you to be caught up in everything else but living for the Most High. But living your life in righteousness and the fear of the Lord. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 4. Right? That's a good precept. First Maccabees, chapter 2 and 28. All right? That's a mighty precept. Let's get Matthew, chapter 4. Right? It's the book of Matthew, chapter 4, and verse number 1. It reads, and then was Yahushua led up of the Spirit. It's like it. Then was Yahushua led up in the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. So Yahushua, he was led in the Spirit. When you read Matthew chapter 3 and 1, it says, in those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Judea. So John the Baptist, guess what? He was in the wilderness. David wanted to flee to the wilderness. You have the Maccabees. They fled into the wilderness, left all that they had in the city. Because you're going to have to, the wilderness teaches you have to leave things behind, man. You can't try to take things with you into the wilderness. You got people, they kept the Feast of Tabernacles. Guess what? They trying to bring heaters. Guess what? It's no heat. It's not going to be no electronics when all hell break loose. All right? It is what it is. You can't bring your microwave into the wilderness, man. Yeah, I'm going to just bring my fridge. All right? With my cocoa latte in it. That's the luxurious things of this world. It's no DoorDash in the wilderness, man. All right? The wilderness is solely set up as an escape place. When you read Revelation chapter 12, the woman, she fled into the wilderness to escape the persecution. Let's get that in Revelation chapter 12. All right. And in Revelation, that woman is personified as the nation of Israel. Right? This is the book of Revelation chapter 12 and 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,203 days. So the woman, which is the nation of Israel, fled into the wilderness. When you read down to verse 14, well, verse 13, it says, and when the dragon saw that he cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness in her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of a serpent. So the wilderness was always used as a place to flee into for refuge, man, as a safe place on a deeper level. Again, when you read the book of First and Second Maccabees, hey, they fled into the wilderness to flee the persecution from the Greeks. On a deeper level, hey, when the northern kingdom, once they came out of the Assyrian captivity, they fled to a wilderness known as the New World, Arsareth, which was not inhabited. The land was beautiful. Everything was fresh. They was able to keep their laws, statutes, and commandments. But as time went on, civilizations came, people came over, industries started getting built up, buildings, offices, things started to get corrupt. So it shows you how the wilderness is that safe place, that peace of mind, that peace that everybody should aspire to have, man, to boost their spirituality with the Most High. You can get a lot of things accomplished, man. Like we said, there's no distractions. But we put into this wilderness, also known as America, to be proved of the Lord, right? Which we're gonna get to, right? But I want to get this precept in Isaiah chapter 43. I want to get this precept in Isaiah chapter 43. Right, it's the book of Isaiah chapter 43 and verse number 19. It says, behold, I will do a new thing, now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. And the beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons of the isles, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert to give drink to my people, my chosen. So in the wilderness, it's nothing but waters. Now, on one fold, that's what the Lord is going to do as prophecy. But, the Lord said it's double to that which is. There's so much understanding that you could obtain out there. Right? Like like Job said, you're amongst the beasts of the field. You can learn things from the beasts of the field. All right? It's less distractions. It's fresh air. You probably have fruits out there, berries, that are eatable. If you see a river of clean water out there, you could drink of it. It's no pollution. You don't have nobody telling you, yeah, this is doing this day. And it shows you how, when you flee into the wilderness, it shows you how much of captivity that we are in, man. When you get into that wilderness, man, it's like you free. It's like you set free, only for a season. But you might have took days off at work, don't have to work. You're free. But guess what? Once that tabernacle is over with, it's like you coming back straight to captivity. It shows you how in slavery we are, how chained up we are. And that's a cut to, those Eves and Jakes that say we not in slavery. I'm free. Guess what? We not free, man. You telling me I have to live my life according to the American life, and if I don't, I'm gonna be penalized for it? That's madness. And they making it harder in this society to keep the feast days of the Most High, to keep the commandments. We are not free. But guess what? That wilderness, you're now freed. Didn't the Israelites, after they got freed from Egypt, where did they go? They went into the wilderness after their freedom. Hey, when we get free out of America, we're going to be led into the wilderness. Let's get that in Hosea chapter 2. So the wilderness, the Most High always requires that which is past. Right, let me get that precept real quick in Ecclesiastes. Right, let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Hey, in the wilderness, hey, nobody knows who you are. You don't have a social security number out there. Don't have a tracking number on you. All right, where they could kind of track where you at. Don't have a license plate number out there. You're literally free. Everything is in the hands of the Lord at that point. Right, this is Ecclesiastes chapter, right, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse number 15. It says, that which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been, and God requires that which is past. So the Most High constantly requires that which is past. When you read the Bible, it's a lot of scenarios that reoccur as you read the Bible. All right, like the number 7. You're gonna see the number 7 a lot in the scriptures. You're gonna see mountains a lot in the scriptures. All right, and so they went up to the mountain of the Lord. All right, or I seen 7 mountains. So hills, waters is gonna be reoccurring thing in the scriptures. It's a lot of key words that's gonna be reoccurring in the Bible. Egypt is a word that reoccurs in the Bible. Likewise with the wilderness, because things in the scriptures mean something. You just have to have the eye salve and the understanding and the precepts to find out the different meanings. Let's go to the book of Hosea, chapter 2. All right, Hosea, the 2nd chapter. Right, so like I said, after we get beamed up out of America, Lord willing, if we make it, we're going to be set in the wilderness. Right, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 2, verse number 14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. And that's what's going to happen, man. We're going to be set in the wilderness. Yahweh Shai is going to be there. There's going to be food there, raiment, clothing, a command. All we have to do from that point on is follow in a way of faith and the word of the Most High. Now, you will have rebels like it was in the first wilderness. Nevertheless, even in the first wilderness, the Most High made sure that we ate. He made sure we had water to drink. It might have not been on our time, but we didn't hunger or starve. Our clothes didn't even wax old in the wilderness. It's going to be the same thing. Everything in the wilderness is going to always be prepared. Hey, when Elijah fled into the wilderness, the Most High made sure that he ate. Hey, in this society, you might not eat for a couple days, man. If you don't have no money, if you don't have any money, you're broke. You might not eat. You're gonna starve. Hey, out there in the wilderness, it's always food. You have to think about it. The Most High created this whole earth, for lack of better terms, and every place on the earth, I'm pretty sure the Lord would not just have it to where there's no food at. I mean, if it might not be meat, you have herbs. You have berries, fruits. And that's beautiful when you think about it. Because there's certain parts in this United States, if you don't have any money, you would not eat. You would starve to death. This the book of, it's like, what was it about to get? Right? Get this precept. Let's go to the book of 1 Kings. Right? 1 Kings chapter 17. and verse number 4. I'm going to start at verse 3. Get thee hence and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is from before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded thee ravens to feed thee there. So he went and did according to the word of the Lord, for he went and dwelt by the Cherith, that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. Because it was a famine during this time, all right? Prophesied by Elijah the Tishbite. And that shows you that water is everywhere on this earth, man. It's some river in the wilderness that you're going to find where there's water. The Most High might command ravens to feed you there, like they did Elijah. An angel to bring you food. Most High show you a vision of a clean plant that you can eat, or a clean animal, or non-poisonous berries that you won't get sick from. So it's definitely a survival place. But the wilderness also, on another fold, is set up to prove you. Right, let me get this in Deuteronomy chapter 8. Actually, I want to get Deuteronomy 32 first. 32 and 10. Right, let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 10. Well, I'm going to start at verse 9. Right, this is the book of Deuteronomy 32 and 9. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him a desert land, and in the waste, howling wilderness. He led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. So that wilderness, the Most High led us in, and he kept us as the apple of his eye. These people in this society, they think they're scared of the wilderness, man. They scared of the woods. I would never live out there. I like my home where it is right now in the suburbs. But guess what? That same home that they have, they're not going to have. It's one day is going to come that they're not going to have that. They're going to actually be, the times is coming, hey, well, we're going to be in the elements again, man. This civilization as you know it, this is not going to be running for too long. We're going back to the days of old, where men are going to have to survive. Where the Most High is going to be like the book of Eli, man, like we always say. Right? And you have, guess what? You have what you have. And you better hope you had a Lord in that day. Because if not, you're going to be stranded, without hope, lost, destitute. Right, let me get this in second address. Right, it's like it. Let me get this in the book of second address. Chapter 16. Right, it's the book of second address, chapter 16, and verse number 40. Right, this is the book of second address, chapter 16 and 40. O my people, hear my word, and make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So when all hell breaks loose, guess what? We're going to be like pilgrims on the earth, man. On the go, fleeing from persecution, right? When you read Revelation chapter 12, the Most High made us flee into the wilderness. But guess what? The dragon followed after us, and it was going to persecute those that's keeping the commandments. And it's going to make war with us that's keeping the commandments in the wilderness. So a lot of things is going to take place in the wilderness to come, right? Proving the Most High trying us through the fire, seeing if we're going to keep his commandments. We're going to stay 10 toes down for his name. if we're going to survive in it. Right? This Revelation chapter 12 and verse number 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So guess what? That dragon is going to make war with the woman. If you're keeping the commandments, war is going to be made against you in the wilderness while you're a pilgrim. And like we said earlier, these people, they don't know how to survive in the wilderness. They can't survive without their phone. 10 minutes without their phone, they can't survive. These people, they idolize money. If they don't have money, it's the end of the world. And you have certain Edomites right now at the so-called workplace. They can't wait for this thing to kick off. The Edomites is more ready than our own people are ready for the wilderness. Hey, some of these Edomites, man, they want this place to crumble. They don't care about America. They hate this place. Just like we hate this place, they hate this place as well. They're waiting for things to kick off. That Esau survival tactics is already stirred up inside them. Right? How much more for us, the chosen people of the Most High God? The apple of his eye. And the Lord is going to protect us in those days, man. Anytime when we were in the wilderness, and the Lord always protected us. It was his protection. You got Jake, they relying on the so-called police, man, to protect them, man. All right, the ambulance. The Lord will always be our protection. We'd rather us have the Lord as our protection than a damn ambulance or a police officer that's automatically racist against you, that don't like you. So again, it's going to be a lot of things going on in this wilderness, man. That's why we love the wilderness. And the wilderness is beautiful, man. That's a beautiful place out of all the beautiful places that the Lord created on this earth, the wilderness is definitely at the top. There's so many benefits to it. I believe last year, it should be on the Cold Cuts channel, but we went into the effects of living outdoors and the benefits of it. They say that you have improved mood. When you look at these people now in this society, their mood is all jammed up. People bipolar, anxiety is at an all-time high. You might walk past somebody, they don't even speak to you. They just keep walking. Head down. Eve just stuck in her ways. But you out in the wilderness, they say it's improved mood due to the oxygen, the sunlight, things that the Lord naturally created us to use. Right? So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8. Right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse number 2. And it reads, "And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thy heart, whether thou wouldst keep his commandments or no." So another reason why the Lord brought us into the wilderness, to prove us. When you in the wilderness, guess what? Now you're by yourself. Now the Lord gets to test your faith. He gets to test if you truly believe in him or not. Do you even care about this truth? Are you an Israelite how you say you're an Israelite? Or are you just saying it because your husband is in the truth? You confess yourself to be an Israelite? Or are you just saying you're an Israelite because it sounds good and another brother told you about it? And the wilderness is where you truly get proved to see if you're a servant of the Most High. It says, "And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna which thou knewest not. Neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee to know that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord, the man live. This goes back again to what the other brother said. The wilderness shows you that you could actually survive without certain things that you think that you need in this society. The Lord brought the Israelites through the wilderness just to show them that you don't live by bread alone. You don't need physical food to live, right? That's what he showed them. Because all through you read throughout the book of Exodus, all you hear is, I'm hungry. I'm starving. There's no food out here. I wish I was back in Egypt. They had nice cucumbers and beautiful melons. All you heard was murmuring. But the Lord showed them through the Spirit that you could live without physical food because you have the bread of God, the word of life. Hey, Christ was in the wilderness with the Israelites. Let's get that real quick. A lot of people might say, well, hold on, what? I thought Jesus Christ came on the scene during the New Testament. But guess what? We here to show you, to tell you today that Jesus Christ was in the wilderness with the Israelites. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse number 1. It says, moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and the sea. So our forefathers was, they went through that baptism through the Red Sea, which is a form of baptism. They were in the wilderness. And did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. So Christ was that rock in the wilderness. All right, on a deeper level. Hey, on another fold, that pillar that followed them by day and by night, that was Christ, man. In that chariot. It says, but with many of them God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. So the wilderness could either make or break you. And the wilderness could literally change your life and push you upward toward the Most High, or it could either break you and cause you to be overthrown. Because as many people was overthrown in the wilderness, only 2 people truly actually prospered from the wilderness. And that was Joshua and Caleb. But the rest were all overthrown, including Moses and Aaron, which is deep. So the wilderness could either make you or break you, man. And you have certain brothers saying, yeah, I'm going to flee into the wilderness. And they just disappear. And you never hear from again. Not that I've heard that a brother has did that, but not that I have physically knew a brother that did that. But you hear these stories, you might be wondering, well, hold on, what happened to the brother? Is he okay? He just disappeared. It's either the wilderness made or it broke him through the Spirit. So guess what? Christ was inside the wilderness. Let's go back to that in Deuteronomy chapter 8. Hey, the wilderness is not for everybody, man. Like we said, people, they scared of the wilderness. Oh, it's bears. It's coyotes. All right? It's mosquitoes. Certain people, they're not built for this thing on a deeper level. It's either going to make or break you. But the real men and women of the Lord, they're going to love the wilderness. Right? It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 4. It says, thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thy heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so that the Lord also chasten thee. Jumping down to verse 16. I'm going to start at verse 15. Who led thee through the great and terrible wilderness, wherein there were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought. There was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, that he might prove thee, to do thee good at thy latter end. So certain men get brought through the wilderness just to get brought low, just to be increased at their latter end. Like Job. Job, everything was taken away from him just so the Most High could bless him at his latter end. So the thing, you might be going through something, but the Lord just doing this just so he can multiply your blessings when it's all said and done. And that's deep when you think about it. But the wilderness is for a proven stage. The Most High doing you good at your latter end. The Most High is showing you you don't really need the things that you think that you need. All you need is me. That's why the Lord really brought them through. The Israelites, they thought they needed the all of the nice foods, being relaxed. As you could see, when they were in the wilderness, they was worshiping a golden calf, man. But the whole reason why the Most High brought them through is to show them that you don't need anything else but me. And certain people in their life, they find out the Lord is the only thing they need when it's too late. We don't need anything else, man. We don't need a car, clothes, the things of this world. All we need is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. That's our life. That's all we need to survive. The Most I say, he's gonna sustain us, man. There's no God but him. Have any person ever been confounded? They put their trust in him. Let's get that in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, class. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, and verse number 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did any ever trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy and long suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in the time of affliction. So the Most High, his whole point to get across to you is, if you truly trust in him and you believe in him, you would not be confounded. It don't matter where you at. You could be in the wilderness. You could be in the Pacific Ocean, the damn Bermuda Triangle. You could be in Antarctica. You put your trust in the Lord and you show him that you don't need anything else but him, and the Lord is going to come through every single time. He's not going to let you down. All you have to do is have your mind fixated on him, trusting him at all times, not leaning unto your own understanding or what you think that you need when you really don't need it, man. So again, the wilderness is beautiful. It shows you everything. All right. And Lord willing, one day we're going to be able to enjoy it. The beautiful places that the Most High has on this earth while not being in captivity. All right. It's uttermost parts of the earth, man. That's in Psalms, the 2nd chapter. 8 on down. The different things that the Lord has in store for his people that love him. Right? And this is why we love this truth, man. Why we love Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Why we wouldn't put anything above it. That we'll rather die than to transgress the laws of our fathers. That nothing else matters but the Lord. Right? But with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Continue to read, pray, fast, and study. Most importantly, beseech the Heavenly Father for his mercy. Lord willing, every brothers and sisters had a mighty feast of tabernacles. All right. Enjoyed it. Was eating, drinking, and be merry, keeping the feast days of the Most High God. All right, but with that, I'm going to say shalom.